Selfish Christianity is costing us big, including our dignity. By Abraham and Inetianbor. This generation of Christians are the most selfish of all time. The selfishness I'm talking about does not have anything to do with monetary or financial behavior. I'm talking about constitutional freedom. We seem to love our constitutional freedom more than the freedom we have in Christ. In fact, we love it so much that we're ready to literally fight the people of the world over this. But that fire doesn't burn as much in us, especially when it comes to sharing the freedom we have in Christ with the world. One minute we are singing "This world is not my home, I'm just passing through." The next minute, we are busy fighting the world about what moral rights they should have under their constitution. I thought our job is to preach the gospel to them on our way home, as pilgrims in this world. Instead, our hatred for those who do not share our Christian values has grown so big that these people are no longer interested in hearing about the love of Christ. Today's Christians, especially here in America, believe in the freedom provided by the United States Constitution, but we want the constitutional freedom to apply only to Christians and no one else. Christians want the Constitution to ban abortion simply because it's a good political benefit. You don't see the same efforts being applied to fornication and adultery, which are the #1 cause of unwanted pregnancies. The Bible is not the Constitution, and both will never be the same. Bible. The Bible is the perfect law of liberty. James chapter 1 verses 25 and 26. This is the law of the Spirit of life in Christ, with no boundaries, which provides the unmatched freedom from the old Jewish territorial law of sin and death. Romans chapter 8 verses 1 and 2. On the other hand, the U.S. Constitution is the imperfect law of liberty. This is the law of the land with boundaries, which provides the sometimes questionable freedom to its citizens. The Constitution gets amended or revised from time to time. It's man-made and therefore imperfect. The Bible does not allow you to plead the fifth. When you lie or steal, you simply admit you're wrong and pray for forgiveness. Under the Constitution, you can lie or steal and plead the fifth, and sometimes get away with evil on technicality. The Bible only allows marriage between a man and a woman. Divorce is optionally permissible when one of the partners commits adultery. The United States Constitution gives you the freedom to marry or divorce anyone you want, for any reason. If you don't like how your partner sneezes, you can file for divorce and call it irreconcilable differences or whatever else you want to call it. The U.S. Constitution is not applicable in Canada, China or the United Kingdom. However, the Bible is applicable to all Christians around the world, regardless of location. As a Christian, the reason you do not steal, kill, hate, etc., is not because the Constitution said you shouldn't. It's simply because the Bible said you should not. If you don't know the difference, then you are yet to be converted, and your decision to take up the cross to follow Jesus needs to be reconsidered. Some of us Christian parents, who spend no time teaching their kids about God at home, are busy fighting to have unbelievers teach our kids about God in schools. Many of us are buried in our ungodly way and pray less at home, but we want to kneel and pray on the football field for everyone to see. Matthew chapter 6 verses 5 to 7. I thought kneeling was a bad gesture because most of these same Christians were highly offended when colored people took a knee during the national anthem to protest racism. The so-called Christian governors and senators want to pass abortion laws to terminate pregnancy up to 15 weeks, and anything after this is supposedly a bad thing. I guess a 15-week-old is worth less than a 16-week-old. They sign legislatures which allow many ungodly behaviors like strip club or nightclub permits. They supply condoms to teens in schools and churches. Despite all the tobacco poison fed to people, even in grocery stores, and the sexual immorality in our churches at all-time high, apparently, the only sin they seem to care about, simply for political gain, is abortion clinics. We condemn other countries when they force their popular religion on Christians who live there, and yet, we do the same here with no shame. We make the Pharisees of old look like angels with our hypocrisy, and we should be ashamed of ourselves. I know some of you are going to send your nasty messages with all the "how dare you" and so on. But the fact remains the fact. There are 27 books in the New Testament, and 22 of them are written to Christians both individually and collectively. They were not written to unbelievers or the ungodly world. They were written to rebuke, correct and instruct Christians on how to live in this ungodly world, especially how to stop behaving like unbelievers. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 16 and 17. Stay blessed, my friends.